Hello everyone. Today I'm going to explain you a chapter from Unit 3 Conflict and Hope. And the chapter is Section 2. Name of the lesson is Can We Change This? Written by Bama. So, this lesson is an extract from an autobiography named Karuku written by Bama. This lesson highlights the problem of discrimination and untouchability which the writer has experienced herself. Her original name was Faustina Mary Fatima Rani, and she was born in a Roman Catholic family belonging to the pariah community, or we can say pariah community. That's why most of her works, whether it's the short stories or the novels, and especially this autobiography, Karuku, is based on her life experiences, the way she has felt the discrimination in the society, the behavior of people towards the pariah community, the untouchability, all the things, all these major topics are highlighted in her books. So this lesson, Can We Change This, is an extract. That means it's a part from this autobiography, Karuku only. And this lesson highlights two main things, that is the discrimination and untouchability which she experienced when she was a young girl. So this lesson is in self-narration. So let's get started. Can we change this? This topic, this title is the main highlight of the chapter. In this lesson there are two parts, two different stories, two short stories which highlight the same topic of untouchability and discrimination of upper caste and how upper caste people discriminate the lower caste. So let's get started. Do we treat people differently based on their caste, creed or skin color? Have you experienced or witnessed discrimination of any kind? Here are some experiences of a young girl who has been a victim of untouchability. So this is a story of writer herself. When I was studying in class 3, so that means when she was studying in class 3, that means she was nearly 8 or 9-year-old, I hadn't yet heard people speak openly of untouchability. But I had already seen, felt, experienced and been humiliated by what it is. I was walking home from school one day, an old bag hanging from my shoulder. I crossed the street of the Pallas and came to my street, the street of the Pariahs. In a corner, a threshing floor had been set up, and the Naika watched the proceedings seated on a piece of sacking spread over a stone ledge. Our people were hard at work, driving cattle in pairs, round and round to tread out the grain from the straw. The animals were muzzled so that they wouldn't help themselves to the straw. I stood for a while there, watching the fun. Just then, an elder of our street came along from the direction of the bazaar holding a parcel. So, this story starts when she was young girl, like nearly of 8 to 9 year old. She was in third standard. I hadn't yet heard people, so she has not heard from anyone about the topic name untouchability or discrimination, but she has seen it. She has felt it and experienced it in her life, and she has been humiliated by it as well. Humiliation, that means to feel insulted, feel bad about it. Okay, so there was the time when she felt the discrimination which affected her a lot. So humiliated by what it is means that what untouchability actually is and what is discrimination and how people treat others on the basis of that. So when the story starts, I was walking home. She was going home from school one day with an old bag. So she was from this only we get to know that she didn't have that much money that she can buy a new well furnished bag. So she was holding an old bag hanging from my shoulder. I crossed the street of the Pallas. So streets were also named on the basis of the caste, the Pallas and the pariahs. So Pallas are basically the people who belong to the upper caste, and pariah are the people particularly of the lower caste where she lived. So that means she was from the lower caste family. In a corner, a threshing floor had been set up. Threshing floor is a place where you thread the grain from the straw. Okay, so threshing floor had been set up, and the Naika, here we can say this Naika, he was sitting on a stone ledge. Our people were hard at work. So people of their communities, pariah community, were hard at work. They were driving the cattle. We can see this man is driving the cattle, and they are taking out the grains from the straw round and round. So by the movement of this cattle, the grain is separated from the straw, and the animals were muzzled. Muzzle means the mouth of the animals was closed, and it was tied up so that they don't help themselves. That means they do not eat the straws. I stood for a while there. She stood there for some time and watched all the fun, as she was very young. So these things were like fun for her. Just then, at that time, an elder of a street, that means an elder of the pariah community, came along from the direction of the bazaar. He was coming from the bazaar holding a parcel. So that person was holding a parcel. The manner in which he was holding, the manner in which he was walking made me want to double up. That means to laugh hard. So the manner, the way he was walking, it was funny for the narrator. I wanted to shriek. Shriek also means to laugh badly with a loud sound, with laughter at the sight of such a big man carrying a small parcel in that fashion. In that fashion means in that manner. I guess there was something like vadai or green banana bhaji. So there were like vada or green banana bhaji in the packet, because the wrapping paper was stained with oil. So vada and bhaji, as they are fried, so by the wrapping, the oil stained on the wrapping paper, she guessed that only these two things must be there in that, one of these things must be there in that packet. Because the wrapping paper was stained with oil, he was holding out the packet by its string. So we can see that the person was not actually holding the packet, but he was holding this packet with the help of a string, without really touching any part of the parcel itself. I stood there thinking to myself, if he holds it like that, won't the package come undone and the vadais fall out? So when she was looking at him, she thought that maybe the way he is holding this packet, it will come undone and vadais will fall out. The elder went straight up to the landlord, bowed low, and extended the packet towards him, cupping the hand that held the string with his other hand. Naiko opened the parcel and began to eat the vadais. So now from the first, here only the manner in which, so the way that person was walking, we can see that he is an elder person and he is taking the vadais like this, holding it with the string. So it was fair enough to think that vadais will fall if that person will carry it with the string. We will get to know why he was carrying it with the string later. The elder went straight up to the landlord and he bowed low, that means wo jhuke respect mein, and he extended the packet, gave the packet towards him, cupping the hands that held the string. Cupping means in this manner, okay, showing respect. The hand that held the string with the other hand. Naiko opened the parcel and began to eat the vadais. So an elderly person was bringing the parcel of food for the Naika. After I watched all this, I went home. My elder brother was there. I told him the story with all its comic details. Here the writer is saying comic details because this manner was actually funny for her. She didn't understand the actual behavior, why that person was holding it like this or something. So it was funny for her. I fell about with laughter at the memory of a big man, an elder at that, making such a game out of carrying the parcel. For our narrator, it was like a game for such an elderly man carrying the parcel with a string. But Anna is the elder brother, in Tamil word the elder brother, was not amused. He was not happy listening to this. Anna told me the man wasn't being funny when he carried the package like that. He said everybody believed that. Then Anna told her everybody believed that Naika were upper caste. So Naika belonged to the upper caste community and therefore must not touch anything touched by the pariah. So he is not supposed to touch anything which is touched by a pariah. If they did, they would be polluted. That's why he had to carry the package by its string. So this elderly person was of the pariah community. So Anna explained to the narrator that on the basis of untouchabilities, which was practiced at that time, so Naikar, the person who belonged to the upper caste community, was not supposed to touch anything which is touched by the pariah, a person of the lower caste community. And if they did so, if a upper caste community person touched anything touched by the pariah or the lower caste community person, then they will be polluted, कि वो गंदे हो जाएंगे. That's why he had to carry the package. That's why the lower community person had to carry the package by its string, so that कि वो उसको package को हाथ न लगाए and it is not polluted. When I heard this, I didn't want to laugh anymore. So because this revelation was quite shocking for the narrator, she felt very bad about it. I didn't want to laugh anymore and I felt terribly sad. How could they believe that it was disgusting if a pariah held that package in his hands, even though the vadai had been first wrapped in a banana leaf and then parceled in paper? So she was also confused and she felt sad and she was not able to believe on this behavior. Why these people believe things like that? Because it is disgusting to think about it. Because vadai, that package, that food was double packed. That means first it was packed in banana leaves and then it was packed in a paper. So it was not directly touched by any person. So it was quite shocking and she felt terribly angry about this behavior of the upper caste community. I felt so provoked. She felt provoked, angry, and that I wanted to go and touch those wicked vadais myself straight away. She felt so angry that she wanted to directly touch those vadais and don't want this discrimination to happen again. Why should we fetch and carry for these people? I wondered कि हम लोगों को, these lower community people, us lower community people, why they have to carry for the people of the upper caste. She wondered, she thought about it. Such an eminent elder. So such an eminent elder, so person who is elder of our goes, of the lower caste community, goes off meekly. Meekly means in a gentle manner to the shops to fetch snacks and hands them over reverently. Reverently means by showing respect, bowing and shrinking to this fellow who just sits there and stuffs them into his mouth. To this fellow, the Naika, and stuffs them into his mouth. The thought of it infuriated. Infuriated means made someone very angry, extremely angry. How was it that these fellows thought so much of themselves? कि ये लोग अपने बारे में इतना ज़्यादा कैसे सोच सकते हैं? These upper community people. Was it because they have scraped 4 coins together? Just scraped 4 coins. So now this line. How was it that these fellows thought so much of themselves? कि अपने बारे में ऐसा क्यों सोच सकते हैं? Just because कि इन्होंने 4 पैसे कमा लिए? So this is the basically line which we say in Hindi कि 4 पैसे कमा लिए तो ये कुछ भी अपने आप को ऊंचा समझेंगे and all that. This is the line. Was it because they have scraped 4 coins together? 4 पैसे कमा लिए तो क्या अपने आप को ऊंचा समझेंगे? This is the way the writer is saying. What did it mean when they called us pariah? मतलब क्या है उनका हमें pariah बुलाने का? Had the name become that obscene, क्या मतलब ये जो name है is it that much disgusting? But we too are human beings, हम भी तो humans हैं. So why they are behaving with us in a manner like we are animals or we are bad? Our people should never run these petty errands of these fellow, कि हमें इनकी बातें नहीं सुननी चाहिए, हमें इनके लिए काम इस तरीके से नहीं करना चाहिए. वी शुड वर्क इन देयर फील्ड्स, हम उनकी अगर फील्ड्स में काम कर रहे हैं, हम उनकी फील्ड्स में काम करके टेक होम, वी शुड वर्क इन देयर फील्ड्स, टेक होम आर वेजेस, अपना वेजेस जो है घर लेकर आए एंड लीव इट एट दैट. बस यहीं तक हमारा जो है काम होना चाहिए कि अगर हम उनकी खेतों में काम कर रहे हैं, हम अपने वेजेस लें एंड दैट्स इट. हमें उसके अलावा उनके लिए कोई और काम करने की नीड नहीं है. हमें उनके आगे झुकने की या लोअर फील करने की नीड नहीं होनी चाहिए. सो टिल हियर इज द फर्स्ट पार्ट related to the discrimination of the upper caste and the lower caste, the way upper caste people used to discriminate with the lower caste. So children, this was the first part of the lesson, Can We Change This, written by Bama. In my next video, I will explain you the second part of the same chapter. I hope you understood this chapter well, and let me know in the comment section if you have any problem related to the lesson, and don't forget to like and subscribe the channel.